Hey guys, today we're going to look at comparing box plots. This picture that you see at the top of the page, this is called a box and whisker plot. Okay, so the box is in the center, the rectangle that you see, and the whiskers are the lines coming out from the rectangle. Let's look at a few definitions that go along with a box and whisker plot before we get into comparing two. The lowest number is this very end dot on the left. Okay, so this is where you'll find the lowest number, and the lowest number is located above the 8. And I'm skipping ahead. The highest number would be this other end dot that's on the right side. And that number is above the 19. Okay, so the lowest number and the highest number are the very end dots that you see on a box and whisker plot. If you notice the lowest number, I did not say 7. That 7 is on the number line, but the picture is not above the 7, so it's not included. Now on the box, we have what are called quartiles. This first line here is quartile 1. Now I'm going to label it as Q1. So quartile 1 is located above the 9. The median can also be called quartile 2, and that is the middle line that you see in the box. So right here is called the median. And this number here is in between 11 and 12, so we'll call this 11.5. So this is quartile 2, or the median. Quartile 3 is the other end of the box. It is above the number 16. Now most of the data is located within the rectangle or the box. And then there's just a few straggling numbers that are located within the whiskers. Alright, interquartile range. Well, we know range is from the lowest to the highest, but this is called the interquartile range, and so basically this is the range of the box. So we need to find the range of this entire box from quartile 1 to quartile 3. So the box goes from 9 to 16, and to find range we subtract, so we'll do 16 minus 9, and that would be 7. So the interquartile range is 7. It could also be seen as IQR. Alright, now we want to find the range of the whole entire picture. So that's from the actual highest number down to the lowest number, and we would use these two dots that we've already labeled. So remember, the highest number we said was 19. And then we would subtract it with the lowest number, which was 8. So 19 minus 8 is 11. So the range of the whole entire picture is 11, and the interquartile range of the box is 7. Okay, so there's a review on box and whisker plots. Now we're going to look at two box and whisker plots that are on the same number line, and we're going to make generalizations for each class. So we took the data of two different classes, Class A and Class B, and we looked at their most current math test scores. And we're going to compare the two classes and see which class might have done better. So let's look at the lowest score. So Class A, lowest score, and Class B. A's lowest score would be above the 66, and B's lowest score is above the 54. So if you notice, Class B had a person that performed the lowest out of Class B and Class A. So 54 is less than 66. Let's compare the highest scores. So that's the other two dots on the opposite side of the picture. A's highest score looks like it's over the 98. And B's highest score is over the 90. So A had somebody that made a 98. B had somebody that their highest grade was a 90. Now the range, remember the range is the highest number minus the lowest. So for A, we are going to take the highest score of 98 and subtract the lowest score of 66, and that would be equal to 32. So A has a range of 32. Class B, high score was 90 minus their low score of 54. 10 minus 4 is 6. 8 minus 5 is 3. So B's range is 36. So Class A had a difference from the lowest to the highest of 32 points. Class B had a difference from the lowest to the highest of 36 points. Okay, the median. Remember, the median is the middle line that we see in our box. The medians are located right here and right here. It's also known as quartile 2. The median of Class A, now that's in between 86 and 90. So halfway between 86 and 90, that would be 88. And Class B's median is in between 70 and 74, which would be 72. The majority of the grades, remember the box is where most of the students' scores are located at. So the majority of the grades for Class A would, you might want to do this a little bit different. I'm going to highlight it. So the majority of Class A's grades are located right here inside of this box. That's where most of the students performed at. And then for Class B would be inside of this box. If you notice, the majority of the grades for Class A, it's a smaller range. It's more compacted. And then Class B's, the majority is spread out just a little bit more than Class A. This is also referring to the interquartile range. So remember, for interquartile range, we are finding the range of the box. So that is quartile 3 minus quartile 1. It's kind of like the high minus the low, but it's the edges of the box. So these two ends here Those are quartile 1. And then the other two ends are quartile 3. So for class A, quartile 3 is 94, and then we would subtract in between 74 and 78, that's 76. So we'll do 94 minus 76. I'm going to come out to the side and do it here. So 94 minus 76 is, let's see, let's borrow 14 minus 6 is 8. 8 minus 7 is 1. So that would be equal to 18. And then class B would go from in between 58 and 62, that's 60. And then in between 82 and 86, that's 84. So we're going to do 84 minus 60. Make sure I wrote those down right. So 84 minus 60, good. And I'm going to do this out to the side. 4 minus 0 is 4. 8 minus 6 is 2. So the interquartile range for class B is 24. And then after we've done all these different things, it says which class performed better overall. So I'm just going to look at the pictures and we're going to try to decide which class had higher test scores overall. I see that class A is kind of shifted to the right some. Their grades tended to be higher and more shifted to the right than class B's. So I'm going to call this skewed right. Now class B, if you look at that picture alone, it's not really skewed right or left. I'm noticing it seems very symmetrical, meaning it's the same on both sides. If I drew an imaginary line right here, it looks the same on the left side as it does the right side. So this one is very symmetrical. Now, its box is in the lower grades compared to class A. So which class performed better overall? I'm noticing that class A has higher scores than class B does. So class A did better overall. If you notice, class A, their lowest score was a 66, where class B, somebody made a 54. Class A, the highest score was a 98, where class B had someone that only made a 90. So that's just a few more things you can look at that helps you know, okay, class A did do better overall. Their box seems to have higher numbers than the box of class B. Okay guys, we reviewed box and whisker plots, and then we learned how to compare two box and whisker plots that are kind of within the same picture. Remember, the interquartile range refers to just the box, and then the range includes the whole entire picture from one end of the whisker to the other end of the whisker. And then our box is made up of quartile 1, quartile 2, or the median, and then quartile 3. Thanks for watching.